Hey guys, this is Jamie from Shane's Trees. Today I'm going to show you how to sharpen a saw by hand. So today we're going to be sharpening the pole saw, which is a micro chain, but I'm going to show you the manual way to do it. There's a couple of things that show us that we need to sharpen it, and it's just the dull edge on here. So we're going to try and make that a lot sharper and therefore much more efficient. On the bigger chains, you'll find an angle which was put on by the manufacturer, and that will indicate the best cutting angle, and the mark is also on the side, and if you can match those two, you're going to have a sharp chain. So I'll start, you really kind of want to have a look, find your worst tooth or the dullest, and then that will set how much you want to bring back the other teeth. If you don't match them evenly, you can end up cutting curves, and it's just really not that efficient. So you pick your worst and then set that as a base. My worst is, I think it's this one just here. So I'm going to set my chisel. Because I don't want to be slipping, I want to make sure I've got good force on both of these, and then you run it at that angle we discussed earlier. And depending on how blunt it is, you'll have to do it a certain amount of times. This one hasn't been done in a while, so it's requiring a few. But we've now got a nice angle. So this is the tooth we just sharpened, and it's got a very nice straight angle coming through here. And if you checked at the back, it would follow that pitch that we discussed that is marked by the manufacturer, as well as the angle coming through here. This, for instance, is a tooth that hasn't been sharpened, and you can see that it's not a straight line, and any change to that that's not pretty much the manufacturer's recommendations, you're not going to get a nice clean cut. You're aiming for this on all of the teeth. So I've done that tooth, so I'm going to move it a bit forward. As it's a pole saw, it doesn't have a chain break, so we're just going to keep going through there, being careful that it doesn't move too much. And this tooth wasn't as bad, so we'll only have to do a few movements on it. And we're trying to match the same length of tooth as the first one. Otherwise we're going to get that curve that we talked about. Alright, so we've done a full circle of the chain. They're all nice and sharp on this side. Some people will come around and sharpen it like that. Me personally, I like to use my shoulders in it and push into the bench. So I'm going to swap it all around and we'll go from the other side. Alright, so now we flip around the saw, we can have another go at this angle. We're going to try and match the length of this tooth, because if we don't get the same length, if these end up sharp but longer, you're going to cut it at an angle, and it's just unproductive at the end of the day. So we're going to bring it back a little bit more while keeping that sharp angle. And now those teeth are the same length, so we know it's going to cut pretty damn straight. Alright, there we have it, a sharp chain. The one thing I need to mention though is these things in front of each tooth, that's a raker, and as the tooth gets sharpened down, it needs to come down so it's always below the tooth. If you take it down too much though, it's going to encourage more kickback, which is always very dangerous when using a saw. So I like to get down low and have a look, and luckily because this chain is quite new, we don't have to touch those yet. But if we did, I'll give you a quick rundown of how to do that. You place it on the raker in front and push away from you like that. Now if you don't have a keen hand, after you've sharpened it, you don't want to dull your tooth you've just done. So I get the T-tool, and you can cover the tooth that you've sharpened. And then place it there. No matter how, if you slip, you're just going to hit the T-tool. You're not going to touch the sharp tooth which you just created. Alright guys, so that's saw by hand, and I hope you've learnt something. Yeah, and give it a go yourself. It might take a few times, but you'll get there.